Hello, today I'm going to demonstrate the 6 basic constructions. These are to copy a line segment, to perpendicularly bisect a line, to draw a line perpendicular to a given line through a point on the line, do that same perpendicular to a point not on the line, to bisect an angle, and to copy an angle. I am using a tool called the Circle Master Compass. It is sold by NASCO and also by ETA Hand to Mind. It sells math and science supplies for classrooms. And it comes, this is one that got Key Curriculum Press logo on it. Key Curriculum does no longer sell this compass. It comes with just a real basic pencil in it, but one of the things I like about it is that you can remove that real basic pencil and stick in any number of writing tools, including my very nice, this is the InkJoy pen from Papermate. Some of the features of the Circle Master Compass that I like very much are that it can be used with many different writing tools, as I was telling you. It is sturdier than most professional drawing compasses. I have seen students with a death grip on these compasses trying to learn how to use a compass, and I have seen them ruin some pretty expensive professional drawing compasses, whereas this one, for $3, will hold up beautifully to most students. And then the third thing I like about it is that the point can be drawn into the metal disc for safety. Basic instructions. Let's do the first one. The first one is to copy a line segment. So I have this little chunk of line somewhere, and I'm just going to lay down a chunk of line and mark off the beginning and the end of it. And I want to reproduce exactly that chunk of line without using something like a ruler. This is called a compass and straight edge, and we must not think of that or treat that like a ruler. I'm not going to measure it. So what I'm going to do is lay down another chunk of line somewhere. There's another chunk of line, and I'll mark a starting point on that chunk of line. And then I'm going to use my compass to measure that line segment right there, and then mark it off there so that this line segment is exactly the same as that line segment. That is basic construction number 1. Basic construction number 2 is to perpendicularly bisect a line segment. So I'm going to lay down a line segment, mark off front end and back end, and here's the trick on this one. You want to spread your compass so that it's a little bit bigger, a little bit longer than than halfway down the line. And then you're going to draw an arc up here and an arc up here. You don't have to draw the entire arc. Do that from the other side too. Now, make sure that point's right where you want it. Take a little time to be sure of that. Now, here's a trick about drawing a line segment properly. Put your point on first. Put your pen tip on or pencil tip on first. Slide your ruler up to that pencil tip. Then bring that around to the other point that you want to intersect. And then draw your line. Put your pencil tip or pen or pencil tip on first. Bring the ruler up to it, swing your ruler around to it, because this acts like a pivot point then, and then you don't have to keep adjusting. So that's perpendicularly bisecting a line. The next one, so that was 1, this is number 2. The next one is to perpendicularly, draw a perpendicular to a line through a point on the line. Okay, so here's a chunk of line segment, and I shall mark a beginning and the end of it, and I'm going to pick a point on the line. Now I want to draw a perpendicular to this line through that point. So first thing to do is put my stick on that point, and I'm going to make sure that it's a little shorter than that piece right there. Okay, so I'm going to mark arcs the same distance of either side of that point. Now I'm actually going to perpendicularly bisect that chunk of line segment right there. So, and my compass needs adjusting again. I'm going to put my stick on this end and arc up there, arc down there. Carefully, arc up there, arc down there. Pen on first, ruler up next, or straight edge up next, and then draw your line. So then I have perpendicularly bisected this line, this is the given line, through a point that's on the line. Now let's pick a point that's not on the line, for instance this one right here. And let's draw a perpendicular to this line through that point. First thing we'll do is put our stick on that point and then draw enough arc. I'm going to mark off a chunk of line so that I'm going to perpendicularly bisect then this chunk of line right there. So I put my stick on that piece. Now it should go through that line. And I put my stick on that piece, that point. It should go through there. And then point or pencil tip on first, straight edge next, and then draw your line. Alright, the next one, so this was number 3, and that one was number 4. And the next one is to bisect an angle. So let me just draw an angle. And I want to bisect this angle. I want to find the line that's right down the middle of this angle. So stick end of your compass goes on the vertex of the angle. Mark off segments that are equal along each arm. Then out here and out there. Then connect that place with the vertex. Pencil on first, ruler on or straight edge on second, and then draw down through the vertex. The last construction is to copy an angle. So let me draw a different angle. Let's see, I want to make sure that it's not a right angle. Alright, and I want to reproduce this angle in another place. So let me just draw another line here. And I'm going to pick a vertex on this line. Okay, for that point right there. Then I'm going to go back to my first angle, and I'm going to mark off equal arcs along that, along the arms of that angle, the sides of that angle, and then I'm going to draw an arc across that angle that matches that arc right there, okay? And then I'm going to measure from here out to across the angle. Spend a little time getting that right. So then I mark off that arc right there, that distance on the other figure. Pencil tip on first, or pen tip on first, and then, alright, so that means that this angle has the same measure as that angle. There are the 6 basic constructions. This was number 5.